America has an e-bike problem that can't be solved with more e-bikes. E-bikes, for those that don't know, electric bicycles, basically a bicycle that has an electric motor and that can help either increase the power of your pedaling, or you can just ride it like a motorcycle, kind of an electric motorcycle. I have looked into e-bikes over the past few years. I definitely would love to have an e-bike. There are some e-bikes that have amazing designs. There's a lot that look like choppers, basically, and that's a main reason why I would love to have one. As well as having an electric vehicle of some sort, especially the fact that I do not have a vehicle, a running vehicle at the moment. Also, I'd love to have an e-bike because you don't have to have, because of the problems that this post is talking about. One of the problems is they don't know how to classify e-bikes, right? Because they're more powerful than a standard bicycle, but they're not as powerful. They don't have the range and they don't have the speeds that you would get from a motorcycle or a moped or a car. So the classification doesn't really fit anywhere. And because of that, basically an e-bike, you don't need to have, I think you have to wear a helmet as you would with a bicycle, I guess, depending on your state. But it basically takes on a lot of the same, as far as I know, which don't take my word for what the laws are in your area. But my assumptions are that they mainly follow the rules and laws of bicycles. So if you have to wear a helmet, where you're riding generally, although with these you can ride on the streets. They are technically street legal, but they don't go as fast as cars. But you don't need to have a license for them, which certain mopeds, certain motorcycles, I think, if they're under a certain engine size, you don't have to get a special motorcycle license. You can just use your standard Class C license. But with e-bikes, you don't have to have any driver's license, and you don't have to have any insurance. You don't have to register them. So as far as a low-cost transportation alternative, e-bikes are pretty amazing. Once you buy them, after you charge it up, you're ready to go. You don't need to get anything other special with the e-bike. So, I don't know. Like, as e-bikes get more popular, I would imagine that they would start forcing people to register them. They may even require you to at least have a driver's license, like just a standard driver's license, maybe. I just hope that they don't turn into, you have to get insurance, you have to get like a special permit, you have to register them every year. Like, hopefully they can be treated like bicycles. I don't know, but it's a weird time, and that's mainly what this article's talking about, right? It's just, it would make them more popular. I mean, for most people, I mean, depending on where you live, obviously, having an e-bike may or may not work. But like, if you're like in a, you know, for a lot of people, biking isn't necessarily the best option. Like, you may live just a little bit too far away from your work to bike to your work. I mean, a lot of people are lazy. I know people that could walk to work, like we're in walking range of work, that would choose to drive. They would choose to get in their car for like a minute instead of spending 5 minutes walking to work, which is insane. But having the option for people that maybe they have to commute to their work and it's not that far away, having an e-bike would be so much better because you're not exhausting yourself riding it. You can either ride it just using the electricity, or you can pedal and it's assisted. Instead of, you can use it as a bike. So if the juice runs out, You can just pedal the rest of the way. So it's pretty versatile. The designs are pretty cool. They do have ones that are like that can fold up. So if you have to like use it as part of your commute, like taking your e-bike to the bus and then hopping on the bus or the subway, you can fold it up. Or like if you get to the office, you can fold it up to make it more compact so you can carry it in with you, so you're not having to tie it up to a bike rack. They're pretty versatile. The ranges are pretty good. The speeds are pretty good. Like this, the fastest I've seen are like they get up to like 20 miles an hour or something like that. Obviously, I'm sure it depends on if you're going uphill or not. Depends on how much you weigh. But yeah, I think it's an industry that's just going to continue to take off. There are things where you can modify your existing bicycle to make it an e-bike as well. I don't know how efficient those are necessarily, but it's possible. It's possible. There's a brand that I really like that I think I've actually talked about on the show many years ago called Wicked Thumbs that look like choppers. And I think they were recently, over the pandemic, they were acquired by Harley. Harley purchased that company, which makes sense because electric is the future. How fast we get to that future depends a lot on government regulations, how fast they're forced to get to that future. But I know I know there's a few manufacturers that have electric bicycles. There was that documentary series about Ewan McGregor and one of his friends that would go on these long motorcycle road trips. Long way down, long way around, and long way up, I think, was the series. A great documentary series. And on the final of the three, they used electric motorcycles that were prototypes from Harley, I think. They tested a few different, like even their support vehicles were electric. It was pretty amazing. I really love that show, that documentary series. And I would love to have either an electric motorcycle, electric like moped, or electric bike, an e-bike. I would love that. I had a motorcycle for a bit, and I ended up getting rid of it because I didn't have any. It was just sitting outside. I didn't have anywhere like to cover. Like it was just out in the elements in San Diego, and the battery always died because I didn't ride it enough. And but if I had an e-bike, especially my lifestyle now, like my van doesn't work. I registered it non-operational, so I don't have to pay for insurance and all that shit. It's just sitting, rotting, pretty much, falling apart slowly, as it was anyway. But I have no need to drive anywhere right now. I'm trying to work from home. I get things delivered. I don't need to go out anywhere, but it would be nice to have that added freedom to have an e-bike to just go to different things. There's nothing really in range. Like everything's pretty spread out here, but yeah, it would definitely be a lot more pleasant to ride around than a regular bike because it's way too hot right now. I mean, it's been like 110. We've having a heat wave in California, so it's like 115 degrees every day still in September, which is supposed to be starting to cool off, and it's just the exact same hot, humid weather as that we had during the summer. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I can't imagine things will end up well for it. I think just things will become more regulated, more they will have to at some point create a category in order to handle e-bikes. But right now they're pretty wide open as far as what you need to operate them. There's no real requirements. But anyway, I would love one. If anybody wants to give me an e-bike, if you are an e-bike manufacturer and you want to sponsor me, you want to sponsor the Ray Taylor Show, you want me to review an e-bike, do it. Give me an e-bike. Let me keep it. Or even just let me play around with it. I've never even ridden one. I've ridden motorcycles before, but no e-bikes. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. One of these days, like if I could trade, like if I knew I could sustain myself working from home and I could get rid of my van like comfortably, I would gladly trade it for an e-bike, for a nice new e-bike, one of the bigger motors so I can get good speeds, an extra battery, take the extra battery for longer trips. But I would love that. I miss having a motorcycle, and e-bike would be even better, even though I'd probably get killed by the horrible drivers out here. But you can still ride these on like sidewalks. That's the thing. That's the whole thing with that story.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.